Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Duo Dialogues.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
So last time we were talking about all the plans and goals we have for the future.
Yeah, we were really mapping things out.
But for this deep dive, we're switching gears a little.
We are, yeah.
We're focusing on something that's, I think, super important in just about any interaction.
For sure.
And that's how to share your thoughts and your opinions effectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a crucial skill to have in English conversations.
It is, because think about it, like as you're discussing a movie with friends,
Right.
you're weighing in on current events, whatever it is,
It comes up all the time.
being able to really articulate what you
You
think
need to do it clearly.
and respectfully.
Yeah.
It just makes such a difference.
Huge difference.
So today, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, sounds good.
All the most useful ways to, really express your agreements, your disagreements,
Right.
and just your own unique perspective.
Yeah,
All with confidence when speaking English.
I like it.
Yeah.
So where do we begin?
Well, I think the most natural place to start is with the fundamental ways
Okay.
we express our opinions.
Like the building blocks?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are those go-to
The
phrases
phrases we all use.
that we all use? Yeah.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
So, what comes to mind for you when you think about those?
Well, you've got your classic, I think.
Yeah.
That's a simple one, but super effective.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Right.
And personally, I believe.
Yeah. Those are the tried and true.
Yeah, they really are. They're clear. They signal right away you're about to give your viewpoint.
Totally.
Like, for example, I think learning English is a really fun and rewarding experience.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or to get a little deeper, in my opinion, immersing yourself in a new culture is the most effective way to learn a language.
Ooh, I like that one.
I agree with that.
You pick up so much more than just words.
Yeah, you do. You do. And then someone else might jump in with, personally, I believe that even short bursts of consistent practice make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh, there you have it.
I think those are great examples.
You and nice and direct.
Yeah, they are. But sometimes,
Yeah.
There's a difference between when we feel really strongly about something
Of course.
and when maybe we just want to kind of put forward a more tentative view.
Yeah, you're right. How do we convey that difference?
Right.
Well, that's where the difference between strong and soft opinion phrases comes in.
Okay.
So when you really have a firm belief,
Yeah.
you want to use something strong. Like, I'm sure that there's no doubt that
Sure.
something with a little more punch, I'm sure that daily exercise is essential for both physical and mental health.
Yeah. I agree with that one too.
See?
But then there are those times when
Yeah.
you don't want to come on too strong.
Right. You want to be more diplomatic, maybe
Yeah.
a little softer.
Yeah, exactly.
So in those cases, you can say something like, I suppose that, or
Right.
it seems to me that.
Yeah.
Something that leaves a little more room
Those are great.
for discussion.
So I really like those.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try to use those more.
What?
I like that they kind of soften things a bit.
They do. They create a less assertive tone.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you could say, it seems to me that learning a musical instrument can boost creativity.
Right.
You're not saying everyone should run out and buy a guitar,
Yeah.
but you're just putting it out there.
Okay. No, I like that. That's a possibility.
So to bring this to life, I think it would be helpful to
Yeah.
imagine a little scenario
Okay, sure.
where we see these phrases in action.
Let's do it.
So let's say we got two friends. Let's call them Alex and Emma.
Okay.
And they've just come out of watching the latest superhero movie.
All right.
And Alex turns to Emma and says, so what did you think of the movie?
Okay. And Emma being, a huge superhero fan.
Yeah. She might say, oh my gosh, I think it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The action scenes were incredible.
She's enthusiastic.
Totally.
But Alex, maybe he's not as impressed.
Oh.
He could respond with, that's interesting. In my opinion, while the visuals were great, the story felt a little weak.
Okay.
You see, he used "in my opinion"
He did.
to kind of introduce his contrasting viewpoint.
Very smoothly, too.
Yeah.
Didn't step on anyone's toes.
Exactly.
So now we're getting into the territory of, agreeing and disagreeing.
Oh, yeah, because let's face it, not every conversation is going to be a chorus of, you're right, you're right, you're right.
Never.
So knowing how to handle those differences in opinion
Yeah.
gracefully,
Politely.
that is a key communication skill.
Absolutely essential.
Yeah. So let's break it down.
Okay.
Starting with agreement.
Okay. So when you find yourself nodding along
Yeah.
with what someone's saying,
Mm-hmm.
one really clear way to show you agree is to simply say, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Straight to the point. Or you can highlight what you like about their point by saying, that's a really insightful point.
I like that.
Or that's a great point.
Yeah.
You know, something that emphasizes you, value their contribution.
Okay.
And of course, there's the classic, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Simple but effective.
It is.
Right.
Now, when it comes to disagreement,
Yes, because we will disagree.
we do.
That's part of life.
Yes, it is.
It's about how we do it.
Right.
Polite disagreement often starts with acknowledging the other person's perspective before you present your own.
Makes sense.
So a good starting point is something like, I see your point, but I have a slightly different perspective.
Okay, that's a good one.
You know, it shows you've listened, you've considered their view.
It's much softer than just saying, nope, you're wrong,
Much.
which nobody wants to hear.
No.
Right.
Another good option is, I understand where you're coming from, but I actually disagree.
Okay.
Again, acknowledging their position
No.
and then stating your own. Now, if you want to be even less direct,
Okay.
which can be helpful in more sensitive situations,
Yeah, I can see that.
you can say, I'm not entirely sure I agree with that.
Okay, that's good for those delicate conversations.
It is.
I like that.
Kind of leaves things open
Right.
for further discussion.
Yeah.
It's not so cut and dry.
Okay, so to illustrate this,
Yeah.
I think food is always a good example.
Oh, always.
Because everyone has their own tastes.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Always sparks debate.
Yes, it does. So let's say you're at a dinner party
Okay.
and someone boldly declares, I think pineapple on pizza is an absolute culinary masterpiece.
Okay. Strong opinion.
Very strong.
Very strong.
So someone at the table who maybe isn't a fan of that particular combination,
Right.
they could politely disagree by saying something like,
Yeah.
I see your point about the sweet and savory mix.
Okay.
But personally, I prefer to keep my pizza toppings a little more traditional.
Perfect. You see, they didn't just shut down the pineapple lover.
They acknowledge their preference
Yeah.
before expressing their own.
Exactly. And then the pineapple enthusiast could say,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the classics too, but I really enjoy that unexpected burst of sweetness.
Okay.
So they're finding that common ground
They are.
while still, having different preferences.
Right. And maybe they wrap it up with, hey, it all comes down to personal taste in the end, right?
Exactly.
Perfect way to end that.
Yeah, because it really does
It does.
come down to that.
Personal preference.
Okay, so beyond just stating opinions and agreeing or disagreeing,
Yeah.
we often want to talk about, what we prefer or how things compare.
Of course, that adds another layer to our conversations.
Exactly. So how do we do that effectively?
Well, when it comes to talking about what we prefer,
Yeah.
there are some handy phrases we can use.
Okay, like what?
Like, I prefer this over that.
Okay.
So, for instance, I prefer reading physical books over using an e-reader.
Ooh, that's a good one. What else?
You can also say, I'd rather do this than that.
For example, I'd rather spend a quiet evening at home than go to a noisy party.
Oh, I resonate with that one for sure.
And of course, there's, I enjoy this more than that.
Okay.
Like, I enjoy learning new languages more than I enjoy doing math problems.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those are just a few examples.
Yeah, they're great.
They help us articulate what we like and dislike
Uh-huh.
in a clear and concise way.
Okay.
And then we have comparisons.
Oh, yeah, where we highlight the similarities and differences between things.
Precisely. And we often use comparative adjectives for this.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, we could say, this new phone is much faster than my old one.
Okay.
Or living in a city is generally more expensive than living in a rural area.
Right.
Those kinds of comparisons.
Yeah, those are good ones.
And to make it a little more interactive,
Okay.
let's put this into practice with the
Right.
classic debate topic,
I love this.
which is better books or movies?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh.
I'm ready to argue for books.
Oh, are you? Yeah, okay. I am. I think reading a book allows you to really immerse yourself in the story
Okay, I see your point.
and create your own images in your mind.
Right, you're actively involved in building the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that.
But what about you?
I mean, I love a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it's the visual experience,
Yeah.
being swept away by the cinematography, the music.
Yeah, the soundtrack can be amazing.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes you just want to sit back and be entertained.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to do all the work.
Right. And I think both are totally valid.
I do too.
I think it depends on,
Good person.
the person, their mood, what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you're in a book mood, sometimes you're in a movie mood.
Exactly.
And that's fine.
Now, I think before we wrap up,
Yeah.
it's super important to touch on some common pitfalls
Oh, yeah.
people might encounter when they're trying to express themselves in English.
For sure, because even when you know what you want to say,
Right.
sometimes those little things trip us up.
Yeah.
So let's address those.
Okay.
One super common one, and I've definitely been guilty of this myself,
Oh.
is overusing the phrase, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's a perfectly fine phrase.
It is.
But if you use it too much, it can make your speech sound a bit hesitant or uncertain.
I can see that.
Like if you say, I think this restaurant is good. I think the food is tasty. I think the service is great.
It's a bit much.
It's repetitive, right?
Yeah.
So instead you could say, this restaurant is fantastic, the food is delicious, and the service is top-notch.
Yeah, that's much stronger.
It is, you're getting straight to the point.
I like it.
Another area where people sometimes struggle is with disagreeing too directly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it can come across as confrontational or rude, even if you don't mean it that way.
Right.
Like just blurting out, that's wrong.
Yeah, not good.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
Instead, you could say, I understand your perspective, but I see things a bit differently.
Right.
Much more diplomatic.
Yeah, it keeps the conversation flowing.
It does.
And lastly, I think it's so important to remember to give reasons for your opinions.
Oh, 100%.
Because just saying, I don't like this song,
Right.
it doesn't really give the other person anything to work with.
It's like a dead end.
Yeah, but if you say, I don't like this song because I find the melody a bit repetitive,
Oh, okay.
now you're giving a reason.
Now we're talking.
Really?
You've explained your thought process.
Yeah, and that makes your opinion so much clearer and more understandable.
It does, and it also makes the conversation more engaging.
Exactly.
Because now the other person has something to respond to.
They do.
They can agree, they can disagree,
Right.
but at least they know why you feel the way you do.
Okay, so just to quickly recap everything we've covered today.
Okay, let's do it.
We started by exploring all those essential phrases
Yeah.
you can use to introduce your opinions.
The foundations.
Yeah, and we talked about how to express both strong and softer opinions.
Right. Picking the right level of intensity.
Exactly.
Mm.
Then we dove into the all-important skill of agreeing and disagreeing politely.
Yes. Crucial for harmonious communication.
It is. We learned some really practical phrases for navigating those conversations smoothly.
We did.
And then we moved on to expressing preferences
Right.
and making comparisons.
Using those comparative adjectives.
Yes. And finally, we tackled some common communication pitfalls.
The things to watch out for.
Yeah, and gave some actionable tips on how to improve your expression in English.
Because it's all about continuous improvement, right?
It is, and I think developing this ability to really share your thoughts clearly,
Yeah.
it enriches your conversation so much.
It does. It allows you to connect with people on a deeper level
Absolutely.
and share your unique perspective
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive.
into the world of opinions.
Yes,
It's been a good one.
it has been. I really hope everyone listening has found these insights valuable.
You too.
And I hope you feel a bit more equipped now
Yeah.
to share your own thoughts in English
With confidence.
with clarity and confidence.
Absolutely.
So thank you all so much for joining us today
It's been a pleasure, as always.
on the Duo Dialogues.
Yeah.
And we'll be back very soon with another deep dive.
We will.
This time we'll be focusing on the art of asking and answering questions
Ooh, that's a good one.
naturally and effectively in English.
Looking forward to it.
So stay tuned for more episodes.
We'll see you soon.
Bye for now.